Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ashish and I'm a junior doctor working in the UK. In today's video, I'll be talking all about the Ielts exam, which is the first step towards your post-graduation journey in the UK. So let's start this video. Talking about myself, I appeared in the Ielts exam on 24th of March in 2018 and my test center was New Delhi. I scored 8.5 in listening and reading sections and 7 in writing and speaking sections, and my overall score was 8. My timeline was like this. I spent 2.5 months overall to prepare for this exam. In this 2.5 month duration, 1 month was kept for listening and reading. I spent another 1 month for writing, 5 days for speaking, and the rest of the days for doing full mock tests. Before I start talking about how you should prepare for each section of this exam, I want to raise some important points. The first one of them is that IELTS is an easy exam to crack if you are from an English school or college. It is a test of how familiar you are with the language, and you'll never get a good score if you don't know the language well, despite knowing the format of the exam and multiple attempts. The second point is that I feel that IELTS coaching are a waste of your money and time, and you should not attend any IELTS coaching because there are plenty of online resources available for the preparation of the IELTS exam, and there are some really cheap resources which you can buy to prepare for this exam well. Some other important points to keep in mind are that you need to book the IELTS for UKVI, which is UK visas and immigration purposes, academic type of test, and this is the one which you will need to book your PLAB exams and to get your tier 2 visa, which is the working visa which you'll require to work as a doctor in the UK. The next one is that your IELTS score is only valid for 2 years, so don't appear in the IELTS exam very early on because you'll need to finish your PLAB 1 and PLAB 2 and you'll need to get your GMC registration and get a job before you can apply for your tier 2 visa. So you should plan everything such that when you appear for your IELTS exam and get the score, you should be completing all of these things within 2 years so that you don't have to appear in the exam again. Let's talk about the structure of this exam now. There are 4 sections of this test, which include listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Usually, speaking is held as a separate exam on a separate day, and you have listening, reading, and writing exam on another day. As the requirements for applying for a tier 2 visa and appearing in the PLAB exams, you should score at least 7 in each testing area, and you should get an overall score of 7.5. I'll talk about how I prepared for each part of this exam. And starting with the listening section, I prepared for this section for about a month, and I used the Cambridge IELTS book, and I did all the books from book 8 to book 12 and did all the listening exercises from these books. I also went to YouTube and searched for some video tests, and you can find plenty of them on YouTube which are from different channels, and you can try to solve them. I also watched English TV series and movies without subtitles in my free time, and this was a really good source of entertainment, and it also made my listening skills better. The next section is the reading section, and I practiced reading skills for 1 month, and again I used the same books, which is Cambridge IELTS books, book 8 to book 12. The next section is the speaking section, and I took 5 days to prepare for this section. This is the most feared part of the test, but this is not the most difficult one. For my resources, I relied a lot on the topics which are listed by IELTS Liz on her website, and this is a wonderful website, and she has a YouTube channel as well which you should surely check out, and she has listed a lot of topics for the speaking section, and I prepared on most of these topics. I also used the YouTube speaking test simulations which are available, and this will help you build your confidence before the actual test. There is also an app which is the IELTS Speaking mobile app, and you can download this as well to help you in your preparation. The speaking part of the test is divided into 3 parts. In the first one, the examiner will ask you questions about yourself and your family. In the second one, they'll ask you to pick out a random slip which will say a topic on which you'll have to speak on continuously for 2 minutes. And in the third part of the test, they will ask you questions about the same topic on which you spoke on. So a lot of candidates find it very difficult to speak continuously for two minutes, and there's a really good method which can help you in this, and this method is called PPF. And this is not a method which is invented by me, but it's from a YouTube channel called E2 IELTS. And this method says that whenever you speak about a topic, you should talk about its present, its past, and its future. For example, when I went for my speaking test, my topic was that I have to speak about the house in which I would love to live in. So I started with describing the house in which I would love to live in, and then I went to the past houses I had lived in, and then I should have spoken about the future houses which I would love to live in after this house, but my time was already over. So this is a really good method to find a lot of content to speak on, and this will really help you out. The next section is the writing section, and I prepared for this section for about a month. And this is the most difficult part of the test, and this is where most candidates fail. So you should give it a lot of importance and prepare for it really well. For my preparation, I used an app called IELTS Writing. Then I went to IELTS Liz website and saw all the topics which are listed there, and I did my preparation around these topics. I also went to YouTube, and then I found out different videos for different types of questions. For example, there can be pie charts, there can be bar graphs in task 1, and there can be different kind of questions which are asked in task 2 of the writing test. So I combined all my resources which I found out on YouTube, and I list them in the description of this video, so you should check them out. There are 2 important tips for the writing section. The first one is that you should always practice with the pen and paper, and you should never type on the computer to practice for the writing section. The second one is that you should try to learn a lot of synonyms of common words so that you can use them in the tasks in your writing section. In the last week before your exam, you should solve one full-length test with a timer every day. You should identify your weak areas from these tests, and you should practice those sections more. And you should not over practice when you are in the last week, as it will make you more anxious. On your speaking test day, you should sleep really well the night before the test. This will help you concentrate better. A lot of people are really frightened about this part of the test, and I was a bit nervous as well. So I used a trick from psychology, and the trick says that you should pretend that you know the examiner well and for a very long time, and this will help you speak freely and more confidently. So this is one of the tricks which I used, and you can use this trick as well. On the date of your listening, writing, and reading test, you should again sleep really well before the test. You should not overdose on caffeine, and you should not overhydrate yourself. And this is done by a lot of people, so avoid doing this. Eat light and take a chocolate bar to eat before the test, and this will help you keep your concentration up. Also, if something goes wrong during the test, don't panic, and always keep this in mind that this is not the last attempt, and you can always give the exam again, and it will help you feel more confident. Also, try to let go of others' opinion about you. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people panic when some minor things or some minor mistakes happen in the exam. So avoid doing this. For the listening section, you should concentrate well on the audio, and you should not panic if you miss a part of the audio. You should always move on to the next question rather than sticking to the question which you're currently on and you have missed the audio for that question. For the reading part, you should always read with a pen. This means that you should underline important words whenever you are reading the paragraphs, and this will help you when you revisit the paragraphs to solve the questions. You should always recheck your listening and reading sheets for spelling errors and to check whether you have filled the right information in the right space or not. I have three important tips for you for the writing section. The first one is that you should always start with task 2 of writing, because this is the longest part and this gives you the most points. The second one is that you should keep in mind that you'll always take more time than you did in your practice sessions. So you should increase your speed from the beginning and you should always keep your eyes on the clock. The third one is that you should check for spelling and grammatical errors in your writing tasks, as these usually go unnoticed. That is all for this video, and I hope that I gave you some important tips which will help you in your IELTS exam. If you want to support my work on YouTube, you can do so by clicking on the like button, sharing this video with your friends and colleagues, and subscribing to this channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in another video.